are with this week's TV segment, and it's finally on the air, Steve. Gotham. All right, so we've seen 2 shows. Well, and the third one tonight, but we can't talk about that one yet.
No, not yet.
So let's talk about the first one. Let's talk about the first big splash. Let's talk about the one we had a party for here at Nerd Bar.
Yeah.
And we got these awesome giveaways to go with it.
Yeah, Fox really took care of us.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Thank you, Fox. Showing off my Gotham shirt here. Or as I like to say, Got Ham by the Pork Producers of America.
Exactly.
Got Ham.
It's the other white meat.
So anyway, Gotham. Villains. DC classic Batman villains, but not quite villainous yet.
Like villain light.
They're villain enough, though. There was a lot.
Oh, yeah.
There was some beatdowns.
There was some badness happening there.
It was. People said, "Well, how was it?" I'm like, very violent. A lot more violent than I expected it to be.
I think it needs to be, though. I mean, that really sets the whole scale for what Batman is about.
This is not the Batman and Robin TV show I grew up with.
This is the thing that happens to him that causes him to be Batman.
Oh, you can see early on the young Bruce Wayne guy's not going to be right. He's already starting off a little messed up.
You think it'll affect him? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at the fact that you watch your parents get murdered, but he's definitely got some angst building up. But the characters, the character acting, the people they pick to be the young Penguin and the young Catwoman and the young Poison Ivy, and how you see how their lives very early on intertwine with the young Bruce Wayne at an early stage,
which is not necessarily canon.
No, it's not, but it gives you a real interesting interplay, imagining what it would be like later, where Batman's already kind of familiar with these people.
Yeah, you do wonder what's going through his head as an adult, fighting against them, struggling against them.
Right. And then of course the whole Gotham Mafia thing, really strong in this. I guess it's just regular people now. We haven't gotten any of the supervillains yet.
No, I don't
They'll start to rise up through the ranks.
Though I do think some people are becoming supervillains at this point. We're kind of seeing that developmental stage of supervillain.
Supervillainy.
I like it.
Yeah. Well, it was violent. It was bloody. It was dark. Even the cinematography had this real kind of overcast. I mean, Gotham, I thought it was in Seattle. You got almost a 30s feel with the wardrobe.
Yeah, that was interesting to see that.
But then the modern
retro
conveniences of laptops and cell phones and
modern weaponry.
Yeah, so it's... Anyway, what else can I say? It's pre-Batman. In fact, I would prefer to see very little of young Bruce Wayne and just everything about the police and the mafia and the villains.
Yeah, I think that is going to build an interesting platform for the Batman that we're going to know to sit on top of, and seeing young Jim Gordon kind of developing.
He's kind of the main character right now, but I bet Alfred's going to turn into...
Well, they got a heavy hitter to play that character. I mean, that guy's kind of he's in the, I would call it, British royalty of character actors. So,
yeah. He's going to turn out to have some MI6 kind of background.
There's some serious lineage going on there.
Yeah.
I think they're going to definitely utilize that guy for all he's worth.
So, Gotham. It's on. It's on Fox.
You should watch it.
You need to watch it. It's on Sunday nights at 9 o'clock.
I think it's at 8.
8, my bad.
I think it's at 8.
Sunday nights. Check your local listings. Gotham. Got ham. I do. Now you should too.
What are you, some kind of nerd? When I am in Myrtle Beach, I hang out with my fellow nerds at Nerd Bar on Main Street. On Thursdays, I enjoy the board games and the beer nights before I get to the chopper. Yeah. Go to Facebook.com/NerdBar1 for more info. I'll be back.
It's time for the events segment this week, Steve. And right off the bat, I know we're a long way away from XCon, but we are getting ready to have our first volunteer meeting for the 2015 XCon right here in Nerd Bar.
It's time for it.
It is time for it, and we're going to have it, and you're going to come to it. Anybody who ever thought about being a volunteer at XCon, now's your chance. Come on down to Nerd Bar. We'll put the address down here, and we want to see you there. Now, you need to be at least, 16 with your parent, 18 without your parent. Not that we don't love you at 15 or 14. We just don't want to be responsible for you. I'm sure you can do a great job, but we need you to at least be that old. This meeting is going to be coming up in the middle of the week. So it'll be the 9th, October 9th.
I think so.
Yes, October 9th.
Sounds right.
5 o'clock, Nerd Bar, right downtown. XCon volunteer meeting. We need to see a lot of you because there's a lot to do. We got a lot of planning going on. So if you want to get involved in helping us get celebrities and get vendors and plan special events,
All the cool behind the scenes stuff.
all that stuff, we need you guys. And hey, you get in free and you get a t-shirt and you get special parties that Steve and I throw just for volunteers.
Because we're awesome!
So, XCon volunteer meeting, October 9th, Nerd Bar, 5 o'clock afternoon, so you have plenty of time to get home from school, work, whatever, and get on down here. There'll be a little bit of training if you need to be trained. If you've never been here before, all are welcome. Bring your friends. We look forward to seeing you. Also, October 11th, Valor Park, Market Commons in Myrtle Beach, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. is Kids Day. Happy Kids Fair. Happy Kids Day. It's being put on by Happy Kids Family Dentistry. It's 3 hours of fun for kids, games, prizes, contests, a puppet show.
No tooth pulling.
Maybe a magic show, jumpy castles. But it's also about kids' health and general well-being. So there'll be a lot of information about kids' dentistry and oral care, exercise and fitness and things like that. So it's a good fun time to bring your kids down. It's all free, admissions free. Come and jump, have fun, see the show. It's going to be a blast. October 11th, Market Common, Valor Park, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I understand there's going to be some surprise appearances by some of your well-known princesses.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, so you want to be there with your camera to take some pictures and some selfies. You don't want to miss out on those appearances. Can't say who, but you'll know them when you see them.
It's going to be awesome.
The very next day, October 12th, down at Myrtle's Inlet, I understand that it's the chili cook-off again.
Lip ripping chili cook-off?
Lip rip. It's the Surfrider Foundation's annual chili cook-off. I can't believe it's already that time of year. It is definitely the fall when the chili cook-offs happen.
Time to stand outside and drink beer and eat chili all day.
Yeah, what he said. Exactly. That's what we're looking forward to.
Hey, I've been to plenty of chili cook-offs, and that's what they do.
That's what I'll be doing. Before Halloween, we're going to have a Halloween costume party, but you have to dress up like a comic book villain, preferably DC or Marvel, so we will recognize what you're dressed up as. You'll come in with some obscure villain from some indie comic your friend drew in a basement and made one copy of.
Because then we'll be sad.
Yeah, because we'll be like, okay, whatever.
But
Go for it.
the best ones are going to get to be on the show.
Yes, we are going to tape the best costumes, get a little interview, and you're going to get to be on Nerd Bar Live. So, Poison Ivies, Harley Quinns, Two-Faces, Jokers. We're talking to you guys. Mandarins. I got to throw some Marvel ones in there.
Look at that one.
Mysterio. All you got to do is just get you a big old terrarium head and make it into an eyeball and walk in
That'd
here
be
with,
sweet.
with some...
Very underutilized villain as well.
He's a good one.
I don't think he's been in anything since Old Man Logan.
So, we'll give you the date on that down here. It's coming up. It'll be right before Halloween. Don't worry, we're not going to compete with all the bajillions of Halloween costume contests that are going on around town. that have lots of money to win. We just want you to come in here, have fun, win a chance to be on TV, and we will have prizes. Lots and lots of prizes.
Come in, it's fun here.
Lots of free comic books to give away, I understand.
Yeah.
So, that's just a little bit of what's going on in Rocktober on Nerd Bar Live. We'll see you next time. Here we are with this week's movie segment of Nerd Bar Live, and Steve, it's finally October. It's time to talk about classic horror movies.
Nice.
Now, when we say classic horror movies, we're not talking about Universal Monster classic horror movies. We're talking about the ones that we grew up getting our pants scared off to. We're talking about Halloween, the original movie, Friday the 13th, the original movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original movie, and Nightmare on Elm Street. There's a lot more, but those four, probably the ones that shaped my childhood horror movie viewing.
And all being movies that had long runs of sequels.
Yes.
I really think the first ones were the scariest ones.
Especially at the age that we saw them at.
I mean, the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie is really scary.
Yeah, here's what killed me. All right, Jason and Michael Myers and Chainsaw Massacre, you could all say, well, you know what? I don't live in those towns. I'm going to avoid those people. Everything's cool. But even though I watched those movies and got scared when I had a nightmare, I could wake up and go, well, I just had a nightmare. Then Freddy Krueger had to come along. You see that movie, you get scared as a kid, you're having a nightmare, and you're like, oh, I'm just having a nightmare, and you go, oh my god, that's the point! You can't go to sleep. I mean, Jaws made you afraid to go into the water. Nightmare on Elm Street made you afraid to just go to sleep.
Sleep, the most natural thing.
Yeah, just can't go to sleep. It was terrible. It was an excellent movie, but it was terrible. I think of those, the original Halloween movie was probably the most, like, jump at me scare movie, like the get you around the corner, shock you kind of thing with Jamie Lee Curtis. And
oh yeah,
yeah, just when you think she's finally like killed him and she's sitting there, you know, oh, I can't believe this, whatever, and you see him just sit up in the background and that music starts again, doom, 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 and you're like screaming at the screen, he's behind you, run! Awful.
That's good times right there.
And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, was just had to be the most disturbing movie ever made at that point.
I think that is an excellent descriptive to use for that. It's disturbing. Everything about it it's made to set you on edge. Everything about it is made to make you just feel awful.
It was. I mean, it wasn't just a slash movie. It was like, we're going to catch you, we're going to cut you up, and we're going to eat you.
We're going to do terrible things to you. And look at all these horrible things we've done to all these other creatures and people, and
yeah,
just bad.
Oh yeah, you never wanted to stop on the side of the road and get help from anybody after that. No. And that movie, I think it's 40 years old this year. So
I think it's a...
Well,
anniversary. Happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
I was way too young to be watching that movie.
But, that is another one of those movies they've remade.
Now, the thing about the originals versus the remakes, not the original run, but the new reboots of those movies back in the day, at least there were some rules. Don't be disrespectful to elders, don't curse, don't smoke weed or do drugs, don't drink alcohol, don't have sex. And don't be mean to other people. If you avoided that, you were going to be the survivor in those movies. But if you were like having sex, drinking, smoking, and being rude, you were definitely getting it.
You were going to get it.
You're gonna. So there were some. Now the new ones, the reboots that Rob Zombie's done and others.
No safety.
No. They just kill the innocent right at the beginning.
If you show up on screen, you are screwed.
Yeah, it's like red shirt alert all over the place. There were some other rules in the old ones. If the slasher, the killer's chasing you, and you're trying to run from them, without knowing, you're going to run in circles and you're going to trip.
If you get into a car, 9 times out of 10, you're either going to drop the keys,
Or you forgot them.
or you forgot the keys,
Or the car won't.
or the car won't turn over.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
Cars aren't safe either. Don't go there.
There was some good, hard rules that you knew what you're going to get into watching these movies.
Never go to the basement. If you
Oh,
went to
yeah.
the basement, you weren't going to make it back out.
No.
Don't go to the attic. Same problem.
Right. And running into houses opposed to just running down an open road screaming for help for the next car. No, I'm being chased by somebody. Let me run into some place I can get trapped.
Fantastic. Which will inevitably turn out to be their lair.
Yes.
Like, I'll
Yeah.
be safe here. Oh, wait, there
No.
are machetes on the wall.
Just run down the road and flag down the first car you see. But no, I'm going to run into the barn and hide behind
this wall of chainsaws.
Yeah, wall of chainsaws, exactly. So, it's October. It's time to dig out those classic horror movies. We have things like Netflix now where we don't even have to pull our DVDs off the shelf anymore. We can just pull it up on the computer and watch
bother
it.
dusting those old VHS tapes off. You can just Netflix it now.
We hope you enjoy those as much as we did, and we're going to be watching them this month, and so should you. We'll see you next time.
Whenever we're at Myrtle Beach and we're not hitting the waves in the beautiful sand and jumping the shark just like the Fonz, we like to go slaughter some innocent souls down at the Nerd Bar. Nerd Bar! Nerd Bar! Nerd Bar!
It's time for this week's gaming segment, and Steve, it's out again.
Yep.
The newest release. The newest limited release. They always do these in limited
I was
releases.
going to say, yeah, it's
Space Hulk.
limited reissue of Space Hulk.
Space Hulk. They only make a short number of these anytime. And what do they release it about every 5-6 years?
Oh, it's been at least 8 years since this came out. So.
8 years. Okay. Well, so this is Warhammer 40K, a scenario version of the game instead of just out on an open battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, Space Marines versus Tyranids.
Yes.
And this is like 40K's version of Aliens the movie, the first movie, without Ripley. So you got the aliens on a hulking spaceship, thus the name Space Hulk, and you got to go in and clean it out and accomplish some objectives.
Yes, there are a lot of different missions that you have to accomplish.
And you could play either the aliens or the Space Marines, right?
I think you can play either and or both.
Or both.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of options in the game. It's a tile-based game, which is cool. You can,
So you don't know what's behind the door until you open the door.
You really don't. It's kind of like old school dungeon crawl in that aspect. Because each room is going to have its own different monster and set of objectives.
And the basic game mechanics are like 40K.
Yes.
But now you're confined into the spaceship. These are just some of the really awesome figures. Now, these have been custom painted by one of our locals, Chris. Thanks, Chris. These look totally cool. We have several of those. And then I'm going to show you the back of this game.
You can lift it.
Yeah, it's you get
It
your
is
money's
monstrous.
worth. How much is this now, retail?
It is $200.
$200, and you can feel every dollar when you pick this box up.
It's quite heavy.
It is very heavy. As you can see, there's a lot to this game.
The figures that come with it are tremendous. They were special made just for this game.
And
so you can only get these figures in this box.
And it is limited edition. We
Yes, it
have
was
what,
made
two?
to sell out, and we were only allotted 2.
We were only allowed to get 2. There may only be 4 in all of Myrtle Beach, if that many. We might have the only 2.
This is true.
I mean 1. We may have the only 1 because one of them might not make it to the shelf. Anyway, Space Hulk by Games Workshop. An excellent, fun game to play if you're a fan of the movies Aliens or a fan of 40K.
It's been released many times over the years, but I think this is the definitive version of it. It's really nice. It's well packaged.
Until they release it again in 10 years. But why wait 10 more years? You can get it
You
now.
can't wait 10 years. You need to get it now while we still have them.
Space Hulk by Games Workshop. Play it today. Here we are in the comics corner. Steve, there's a lot to go through, so we're going to have to go through it fast because there's so much awesome to show you.
Sure, absolutely.
What's up first?
Well, first of all, you should notice that we have remodeled the Comics Corner just for you guys because you're so awesome and we want you to see how awesome it
There
looks.
is a lot of 3D covers up here.
Behold the array of New 52 3D.
We told you there were going to be a
covers.
lot of them, and by golly,
42.
there is a lot of them.
We have them as a package, so you can come in and buy the entire set if you would like. I have a few packages of them left. Do not wait long; they will not last. These
So
are
you-
all first printings.
So you can get the full set
yes, all
of
42.
first printings, but you have a limited number of those.
Yes.
I feel like the guy at Home Shopping Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
We also have, just in time for Halloween, the new monster variants of all of the New 52 DC covers.
Oh, so they took all
Check
the
out
main,
that Superman.
they took the main guys and turned them into monsters.
Yes, everybody gets their own monster cover for this month. Some of these are pretty gnarly. I think these are just going to be collectible because it's the kind of weird sort of novelty cover that everybody
So
wants
this
to have.
isn't a one-shot. I see it says 35. So this
Yes,
is,
these are the regular issues,
the story's running the same. The cover's just new.
but they have these special sort of Halloween-y monster covers.
All kinds of special stuff.
Very intense.
Now let's get into some new books.
Oh, something new like Thor #1.
The new Thor #1.
Observe.
But it's the one you've been hearing about. Thor is now a chick. Big deal. Big deal in comics.
It's a big deal.
Thor-
Thor can't pick up the hammer anymore.
Thor he's busted. He can't do it. And I can tell you, after reading this one, I still don't know who picked up the hammer, but I know it's a chick. They don't give you the reveal in this issue. You got to stay tuned for issue 2. Hopefully.
Going to be even more exciting. And frost giants. It's all about the frost giants in this whole Thor universe.
Yeah, and they're
situation.
underwater for a minute.
And even more giant than usual.
Yeah,
Kinda,
so check this out.
kinda intense.
People have been talking about this for months. It's finally on the shelves. Thor #1.
It's been a huge deal. It's
Thor is
been
a chick. This is the kind you save.
the product of much controversy.
Yeah, this is the kind you keep in your collection when you're like, oh yeah, I had that comic when Thor was a
Remember
chick.
back when Thor was a chick?
And since we're talking about changing up characters from their traditional roles.
Oh, look at that.
Let's talk about the new Captain America.
Captain America too.
Now this ends the current run of Captain America at issue 25, and we'll start a new Captain America next issue.
Yes.
And but this comic introduces who the new Captain America is. So unlike the Thor, where we just see it's a female, but we don't know who, this one lets you know who the new Captain America is going to be. You want a spoiler alert?
Spoiler alert.
All right, here it is. I'm going to show it to you. Get ready. Bam, you saw it. Now, I'm not going to tell you who it is. You need to come by the issue and read it for yourself, but I already showed it to you.
Again, the product of some controversy. I think a lot of people are very upset by the idea of a different Captain America.
I'll give you a huge hint. Thor did a gender switch. This one's doing a racial switch. So that should give you a huge clue as to who this is. But you want to keep it because this is going to be another one of those special cultural issues, I like to call it.
And it's going to be great, too.
And speaking of new heroes, born again, well, I don't know if you call this guy a hero. Lobo.
I don't know if Lobo counts as a hero, but definitely a much beloved DC character.
Yes. Now, I know they kind of decided to relaunch this because they're working on a movie script.
It's going to be cool.
And I guess they looked back at the Lobo character they had developed and realized this isn't going to work well on film. We need to relaunch him with something that's a little more feasible.
Yeah, the original Lobo's more of a Lemmy Kilminster, Motorhead kind of character. I don't know how that plays on film, per se.
So, this is going to be a movie. This is one you're going to want to get. Lobo #1. Get it now, before they even announce the movie, and you'll be the cool guy.
And it's actually really pretty good. So,
And Steve says
Totally
it's
worth
pretty
getting.
good, so you should listen to that.
hey, I was a big Lobo fan. I was upset by the fact they were going to change Lobo, but it works.
That's all the
Kinda
time we
works.
have for this week's Comic Corner. We'll see you next time.
Hello, fellow nerds! If you are in Myrtle Beach, you need to check out ex-con Comics on Main Street. It is the heart of the beach. Inside, you will find Nerd Bar, a new concept in nerdy entertainment. ex-con Comics is the home of ex-con, one of the fastest growing comic cons and the biggest in South Carolina. Whether it's comics, games, art, movies, or just something truly unique, ex-con Comics and Nerd Bar is the home of what is cool in Myrtle Beach. Check out facebook.com/nerdbar1 for more information. And remember, hot chicks love comics too.